Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Richard Zucchini One. Just editing my title somewhat here. Okay. Okay. I'm Richard Zucchini One. Welcome to part two of my broadcast. As the first part was having an unstable connection at the time. Let's do this again. Yes. To continue here. Um. yeah. Okay. Yes. So this is my YouTube channel, and um. Okay. I'm going to give a clear explanation here now, and I was about to get into it. Why, um, for Shenmue and Tekken, why, like, how I can become Ryu Hazuki and Jin Kazama. How can I do it? So now I'm going to give a clearer, and more clear explanation. One of those two. I don't even know what I'm saying sometimes, but I'm going to give a clear explanation why I can become these iconic martial arts sensations and why I cannot. But let me give a clear explanation to outweigh why and why not. Okay. So, as I said before in part one, yes. So I've taken this chemical dependency of medicine for depression, whatever. Um, you know they deal with like mental illness in different ways. And it's not that I'm really delusional or mentally ill in any way. It's just that I see this. I've studied this manic depression many times. It's a chemical dependency that people have on taking a medicine. But the doctors, the psychiatrists even tell me they're like, you can get off of that medicine temporarily and then get back on it. Get on a different one. You know what I'm saying? So, um, they deal with mental illness in different ways. Okay, there's different ways to deal with it. I think that actually sex has a lot to do with mental illness. Yes, but if you don't have it, you're gonna be mentally ill, maybe, or more mentally ill when you have it sometimes. And if you're mixing it with like other substances like alcoholism, tobacco, cannabis, whatever, drugs, you're gonna have problems sometimes, because you got all this going on in your brain. But you know, your body didn't really intend you to get high like that. It just your brain. Maybe sometimes it does like to get high. I don't know why there's this cannabis like in the planet, and why people like to do that, get high in that. Well, they do that, but if you do that too often, too much of anything is bad for you. You know what I'm saying? Because if you see all those people that do marijuana, all they can do is just keep smoking and vaping THC, keep smoking, vaping CBD, THC, getting high off of smoking sativa, marijuana, may make them psychotic, then, or not Invicta, the sativa, and then there's I don't know what they're, I don't even know what the other one is. Starts with an I think. And I just don't do those things. Naturally, Ryo Hazuki is not that way. He's not supposed to be that way. And I would tell anyone in a Shenmue group that Ryo Hazuki is not supposed to be uh, a substance abuser. He doesn't do even marijuana. He doesn't do that. He doesn't do. He doesn't even drink. Like he's not even supposed to drink. Even when he gets older, like I don't know, maybe he would when he gets older. But, like Ryozuki, the real Ryozuki, the way he started, he did not drink. He did not smoke. He did not do marijuana. They don't just tell you that, but I'm telling you that because I know that. Now, why I know that is because I'm this guy. But let me explain why, okay? Ryozuki is he's he's like an iconic martial arts sensation. He's supposed to be young. He is younger. He's young and he's fresh and he's got a lot of potential for the martial arts. He's uh he's not going to be drinking at the bar. He's not going to be drinking alcohol, liquor, whatever. He's not going to be smoking even tobacco. But it's like, to me, he should be that. And that's because Ryozuki's schoolboy. He drinks milk. Now, if you find a guy that drinks milk, well, his bones are going to be strong. His body is going to be strong. It helps his if his bones are in tune with his muscles and ligaments and tendons and his brain and everything's in tune together. He's going to have a strong. Like okay, like how in Tekken Bloodline, Jun Kazama says, "Strong mind, strong body." Yes, so it works both ways. Strong body, strong mind, strong mind, strong body. It's the same thing because your mind is your body too. It's part of it, and that's Ryuzuki. He's not gonna, like Ryuzuki, his personality. He's he gets angry sometimes. He gets pissed off. He swears. Ryuzuki swears. Right? I know how some. See, let me say the reason they have classical music in this Shenmue. Ryuzuki is supposed to be a classy guy. He's supposed to have morals, respect, this, that. But what they are not saying is that he comes from that background. I come from that background because these Don teachers trained me. But you see, what I'm saying here is that and these Don teachers are supposed to be that way. They initially represent themselves as classy guys. Yeah, but they're well, whatever. That's how they represent themselves. Ryuzuki might swear sometimes. Like when I was in class stretching under Saban Nim, the title, my teacher, he this a few years ago. I would be stretching a lot in class, and they had everyone stretching, but it would hurt sometimes, and maybe some profound language came out of my mouth, but I didn't mean for it to. The teacher's like, Ryan, if you're gonna be like that, he didn't want me to even be there because, well, even if they had kids in that class, come on now. I mean, I know there's kids there, but there's also adults in that class too. But see, that's how strict this federation is. They're very strict and they don't even want you to swear. Now, that's what I'm talking about here, okay? This is a classy, oh, it's like a class federation. It's like they represent themselves as having values and ethical principles and morals, all that upstanding people. But you know, they see what I'm saying. They did include for Ryuzuki to swear in a video game. If you can find times where they copied my likeness. Okay, there were some times I would say, "Damn," and there were some times when I would say, "Is that so?" in class. I mean, no, now I would say that like in the changing room to these Don teachers. Okay, I was proud. I was a little boastful in that, but this is all my likeness too. They're not just saying that. I mean, I was a totally different person when I was 14 years of age. training like this. I don't look like it at all now, really, in a lot of ways, but maybe I do in some ways, but I'd have to get in the shape, and do this all over again. And then I probably could do this, I think. Um, Let me say this here about being Ryuzuki. Um, I do think that I could do this to be Ryuzuki. Um, I'd have to have like a special diet, and I'd have to have a special lifestyle. That means and equates to what? Equal sign. Lifestyle changes, okay? So, lifestyle changes. Now, that would mean that my lifestyle has to change. Cha-ching! Money, Sega Dreamcast, whatever. Like, I'm saying, like, they never gave me my royalties, those teachers. That primarily, the head instructor never gave me my royalties. No. Instead, he gives it to this law firm. They became a law firm in 1998. He did clearly state that uh, at the ceremony when he presented this degree to me, and that's all he's going to give to me to maybe claim this again one day. But then I had this few students in the class that wanted that degree for themselves. That's what I had, that degree, physical copy of it, and it came along with that identification card of Bentogan translation. It doesn't mean to laminate it. They're lying, these teachers. Now, this is what I'm saying here. This degree signified and meant a lot of different things. It had a lot of kanji on there, like it had a whole lot of translation on that degree. That degree was a special, special degree. Uh, One attorney says that that might be in an IT cloud somewhere. He told me that. But then he's backing out of this, helping me later. Someone from Texas, is backing out of this. So this is like a national thing or an international thing. This, if it would get to that level, but it's like there's laws that are national, state, local, international laws broken to not represent me as Ryuzuki. Yes, because I had the degree. They were going to try to do this for me, these Don teachers, but then they just didn't do it for different reasons. Um, Let me say this here. Okay, so like Ryuzuki, it's funny because like, see, I'm used to doing these moves already from my history. Oh, I've done these moves. All I guess it's like the basic foundation for doing the fight choreography of Shenmue is three kick strings. Okay, if you can do the three kick strings, and I used to do that all the time, I just know that like, see, I would need to train with this federation. This federation, those non teachers have found out that my training helps me to become this Ryuzuki. If I had the training, knowing that they deny me that today, well, it's because it's like opening uh, up a can of problems, But that's the problem here. You see, my life suffers because other people don't want to face and accept the reality that I'm this guy from 1995 and I'm this guy that has been suffering for 30 years because you guys chose to give the royalties and all that honor and glory to an attorney family. You know, they became that in 1998. I understand that, but they don't, you know, the reason I'm saying that is because I remember those people at this ceremony. Correction, I remember seeing those people and training with them a little bit at Region 5. They barely came into class a few times. And I know the guy that's is my neighbor, but I don't say nothing to them about this. You see, I don't say nothing to them about this because, like, oh, awkward. It's pretty awkward to talk about this in a way, and it's just I don't want them to get really angry or offended, but I'm not just going to talk to them about this now that I realize finally that they they've been they probably have. I don't know what kind of dealings they have with this Sega. I don't know what kind of dealings they have with Bandai Namco. If they have had, maybe perhaps they have had dealings with them and they sold this or something. I don't know what kind of history, whatever records they got, but I know there's waivers and perhaps contractual agreements I did agree upon in the changing room, signed it off, but that's because they were asking that, and I didn't know they were like kind of enforcing it because I'm training with them and they don't know what to do about this, so they're just having me do sign anyway, but that's illegal without a parent or guardian present. So you see, oh yeah, that's the history of that. And now yes. So if you've seen this, anybody ever watch the Survivor series? And I believe it came out in 2001, 2002, 2000. I don't know what year exactly, but it's like probably those years. Uh, and there's a character, I think he calls himself Rudy in the series. Rudy. Yes, yeah, he calls himself Rudy in the Survivor series, but his real name is Michael. But see, um, I don't know why they call him Rudy, but I do know that the neighbor man, uh, I don't think he's a bad guy really or nothing. I don't think the neighbors are bad people. I don't. But I don't want to say that in any way, and I don't really think they're all bad, but like um they're okay. The reason I'm saying that his name was Rudy is because it was, and I'm maybe thinking, well, maybe they like that name, Rudy. They like my dad. My dad's a nice guy in a lot of ways. Maybe that's one reason they named him Rudy for the Survivor series. They thought of my dad. I don't know what it was. Um, we have history of we're a Hispanic family. We share our love with everybody. Sometimes we do. Uh, I give people food and this and that. I remember that I we gave the teachers breakfast burritos, uh, beverages, and different things, hot chocolate from Mexican town, whatever different things we would give to my teachers from Ruby High School. We gave them that, and they liked having that. They said, "Oh, we can get used to this, Ryan." Fresh tortillas. Um, I don't make fresh tortillas here very often because my parents don't like me to do that. But I would make fresh tortillas more often if my the family I'm living with right now would be okay with that. It is quite messy. My mess. My this is the problem here. Like it's a lot of times when you're not living alone, people think you don't clean up your mess when you're cooking because if you're the only one cooking, well, you've got to take a break after you cook because that's so tiring and exhausting. Like if I'm in a kitchen, they've got a cook, they've got porters, they've got people that clean a kitchen. Well, if it's all done on one person, I'm doing all the food prep, I'm doing all the cooking, I'm doing all the cleaning, doing all the work. You've got to take a break at some time. And then when I'm taking a break, my parents are like, "Oh, you didn't clean up your mess." Well, I told them, I said, like, uh, I've got to take a break. I'm tired. My back hurts from all this cooking, all this standing. And then they're like, "Oh, well, we're cleaning up your mess. That's why I don't like your cooking. You don't clean up your mess." See, my parents are kind of that way, but I love them no matter what because they're the only parents I'll ever have. So that's all you got. It's like a box of chocolates. Take what you get. You know, get what you get. That's all you can say. In life, you take what life gives you, and that's all you can do. So life gave me my parents. I love them very much. And that if they say something like that, if they say something, if they go to their churches or whatever, and then they, and I don't even like church sometimes. Sometimes I don't even really like church, but I don't like to say that. But I don't like it sometimes. I like it a little, but then I don't like it because of some of the things they believe. I don't agree with because it doesn't correlate with health and science. It doesn't really agree with health and science. So that's one thing I don't like about you know that religion of Christianity. But what I'm saying, like like if my family gets in a conversation, if they ever do about this Shenmue, and if they ever hear about me with family and other family about, oh, Ryan is on YouTube, blah blah blah. Ryan is Ryan does karate. We didn't know that. What's he gonna do about it? Blah blah blah. Oh, they would probably say, and they just my own parents think like the whole world revolves around Ford Motor Company. They always have thought that the world revolves around Ford Motor Company. So you know they do. But and let me say, they always are like, Ryan, you gotta get in the Fords. You gotta work at Ford. Like they push that on me. But it's I've always aspired to do the martial arts and karate. Now, I know I'm getting older every day in that, but I don't think I'm too old yet to do these martial arts. I still want to buy when I get my own house an Acon trampoline, a big one. Um, yes. So like so let me say this: if my own family would say Ryan's just delusional, Ryan's just saying that, and he doesn't know that. Um, Ryan's just saying these things because he wants to believe them. Don't believe any of it. He's mentally ill. Blah blah blah. Um, the truth about that is that my two parents and God and all these things, Buddha, Krishna, God, Allah, all these entities of the source know that I love my parents very much, and maybe more than anything, I love my parents. My parents, but they were not present in class, not one time in 1995 when I became this Ryuzuki in Jin Kazama. That's testimonial truth. They were not present one time in the 6 months I trained at Region 5 to become this Ryuzuki, to become this Jin Kazama. They were never present in the changing room. They were never present in class, not one time. To watch that, when the cameramen came, they were not present, not even one time. Um, they just we had this dark, well, not dark. We had this deep jewel green Mercury Villager. It's funny because the Grandmaster Russ Henke. I remember I shook his hand, and the last time I saw him, he just purchased the looked like the same one I had, but is like a deep jewel green Mercury Villager, and that's the one that we had one like that, and when they dropped me off, they'd drop me off, and I would come out of the Mercury Villager. I had so much energy, I'd kind of jump out of the car and just get going to class. It looked like I was jumping out, but I wasn't jumping out. When you look like you're getting on a horse, You're getting into a car, you're getting into a horse. Well, I don't know. It's the same thing. Maybe you're traveling, whatever, flying, whatever. But it's whatever, you know. It's funny. But yeah, so there's a deep jewel green villager, Mercury villager. I would wear these deep jewel green silver tab jeans. Now, they just use these ideas, I think, these guys. My jeans, my clothes, the backpack I had, you know, maybe that car. We had a bulldog. We had a few bulldogs. We were breeding British bulldogs, and we would come there with the bulldogs sometimes. They drop me off, and that's it. They never were present and watched me train in class to see how good I was. But that was an understanding with my uh, other relatives that were going through, um, you know, marital problems. But that's about all I'll say about that. Yes. So they were breeding like dogs too. We were close friends with them. They were breeding some other British dogs, the mastiffs. Now, hmm, yes, I've got these patches and stuff here, but I mean, I don't know what I'm gonna do with some of this stuff. I want to make a new jacket of Shenmue. Um, I've got I've got the actual, some things are more original patches. I've got some more original ones too, but uh, like the ones they sell for, this guy, I don't think he makes patches right now anymore. Maybe never again. I don't know. Dion's Fabrications makes. I'll show you right here. Let's see. Okay, where is it at? I know I've got a few of them. Yeah. Oh, okay. I have some extra too, but like, see, it's supposed to go like this. Like the sun is on top for like the rising sun. You see that? This is a bigger patch. You notice there's like a black border here. Now you notice the sun is on top. That's like represents the rising sun. No, wait, no. It's not supposed to be that way. No, no. Okay. See, this is the right way. The sun is rising, but it's like the star, like a ninja star, like the star there. You know what this represents to me? Um, that star is like a ninja star too, but it may be a ninja star. I don't even know. They call Ryuzuki the samurai boy from Japan. But to me, this represents like the sun's rising to become somebody, to become something. The rising star, rising sun. I don't know. See, the flags are supposed to be like that. But what let me show you this, everyone. Um, see, I've got this patch here too from the United Kingdom. I ordered, and uh, okay, this one right here. Notice this one here has brown bordering. If you look closely at the video game of Shenmue, everyone, okay, you look closely at his Ryuzuki's jacket. There's a dark brown border on his patch that's on his jacket. Okay, it is not black, and it's not. See, this one's like a lot bigger. You see, everyone, that's a lot bigger. You can get a bigger patch. I ordered this one here specifically from the UK. Now, um, the patch looks more like this a lot, and probably this is like an exact, very rare replica of the. Well, it's an original patch they made, but it's like a very rare patch that it's not like a replica. It's like a rare patch that they made in England, and that's representing Shenmue. You see, they give him this dark brown, border, I think, and see Ryuzuki's eyes are brown. My eyes are brown. I think actually they make this watch too. See this watch? This is one of the watches that, you know, I gotta get a new strap. I gotta get probably a better watch. I don't even know. But like this watch here, you see it I don't even think it works right. But I haven't heard the alarm yet. But it does make some noise. I just haven't heard the alarm. Yeah. Maybe it works. I don't know. Um this, if you notice the strap, what is it? See this? This is black. You know, Ryuzuki's eyes, the iris is like black or very, very dark brown. Could be very, very dark brown, but it's still a dark brown. The like the see the pupil is like a dark pupil color, like a dark, dark, dark brown, dark, dark brown, and this is like a dark brown strap. You see that? Okay, so you know I know Rizuki's eyes look like that. Okay, my eyes actually look like that, but they're not going to tell you nothing about me. I'm not officially recognized as Ryuzuki. See, in Shenmue, the group, there's what they call unofficial claims and official claims. Now, this patch is an official patch of Shenmue, but they're not like representing anything more significant about it. But if you want to decipher and understand Shenmue more, you can watch my channel too. Because, like, see, to me, this signifies like something very special about this Ryuzuki. It's just the guy is special. The character is supposed to be special. Uh, so he is. He's a very special person, and it's not that you know Rizuki is like a smoker or a drinker or anything. No, he doesn't do that. That's why I'm saying he's classy, he's special, he's different, but he's also a fighter. He's also a warrior. He's that way. You know, um, Ryu Hazuki, like he does take a lot of initiative, but uh, you see, this is what I think that the teacher didn't understand about me when I was training. That Ryuzuki, that I like. See, I take initiative. I do things about my problems, but they were not. They were not really valuing that I was honoring the Federation and I was trying to look out for myself sometimes. But that's see, I would have. I guess I could have and would have. I mean, I look going back. I wish actually I would have fought some of those kids. But if I did, I think even today, I think I would have murdered some of them with my kicks. And that's why I just didn't fight with them because I don't want to actually have to murder kids that like teenagers. They were teenagers. Wouldn't settle down, wouldn't stop bugging me, wouldn't stop bullying me is the right word. Bullying me and harassing me and looking for fights even in the bathrooms. I couldn't even go to the bathroom at this strong junior high school. And they wanted to fight with me, these teenagers, these people from junior high and high school, whatever. And they're more like junior high school kids, but um, they wanted trouble. They wanted it, and I didn't really. do much to them. I mean, if anything, I might have shoved them back or something a few times. I didn't want to just use karate on them because if I did use karate on them, you know, I don't know what would happen. I don't want to even think what could have happened. If I would have killed somebody, I don't want them to put me in juvie or something, because like they don't understand what's the problem. I don't know, but like I don't. And it's another thing. I'm a different kind of person. I don't just want to go out and go to school, and then people are trying to find me after school or even in class. If I would have followed these kids, it would have looked really, really awesome in the hallways to use karate on them. Believe me, there would have been everybody would have been rooting like Street Fighter 2, and then it would have been done faster than Ong Bak. Okay. It probably would have been done way faster than that, the fight. It's just so fast and so real, these martial arts when you're doing them. But that's a movie. Okay. It would have been faster than the movies, faster than all these things, because once I kick them in the head, they're going to be blood splattered everywhere from their head. Their cranium would have been bleeding like crazy. But I don't just want to roundhouse kick some of these kids in the head like that, So I didn't just do that, and not just a roundhouse kick. No, inside, outside kick. All my kicks were really powerful, and not just kicks. My strikes were powerful, blocks were powerful, but the most lethal thing about me that year was my kicks. And you know, I would work out my legs and stretch my legs all the time in the basement before I went into training Subak-do. I didn't just train Subak-do. No, I lifted weights and drank a lot of milk, had central vitamins in me, drank Gatorade, drank a lot of water, and I had protein in me. I had muscle on me everywhere. And like these moves would have come out and been really real, you know, like even though I didn't use karate, like how they feign this karate in Cobra Kai and that, like when they show Volo doing these things. Well, Volo did these things, but Volo or any of these other characters in Cobra Kai are nothing like the talent I had that year training, because the talent I had training that year was like fatally it's dangerous, and I didn't want to just use talent that like that, use karate on kids that were just picking on me, bullying me, and they wouldn't stop. They were really terrible about it. But if I would do that, I don't want to even. I don't even want to think like maybe I go to court hearings for murdering kids. Like they would try to find like reasons that I didn't have enough reason to fight them. Because see, they would put it on me, and because I'm the guy doing karate, I'm trained this way. They're gonna think I'm some kind of black belt in 10 different martial arts. When I go to court or something, because I'm doing all these fight choreography moves of Kyokushin karate, Taekwondo, Subakdo, Muay Thai, capoeira somewhat. I'm doing all kind of martial arts there that year in 1995. I knew I was a real bad motherfucker, and I didn't want to just kill these kids, so I didn't. Oh, even the biggest bully from my history, wherever he's coming from, whatever country, I won't say, but it doesn't matter. It's just, I don't think like I'm trying to prove anything, I don't want to make enemies online, but if I got the biggest enemy, like that one guy, that guy, like at the end of the 70-man battle, they call him Paco, but I think they're like fusing, not fusioning, but fusing a guy with another guy that was a bully, and they're making up a guy named Paco. Um, it's funny to me. Paco's just like he can't really fight well, but he can fight, but he can't fight that well. He's just a big dude, and Rizuki's much more powerful and talented than that Paco guy, you know. Um, it's funny, really, but see Paco and Shenmue, he doesn't know how to fight. But training me back then, was really I was a different person. So I just stayed out of these fights. I guess what happened. I think what actually happened is maybe these Don teachers took care of all these things because I didn't know what to do because the federation, the karate federation I'm from, they're like oh, walk away from the fight, be the bigger man. Um, I know what to do. I know all this Shenmue fight choreography that was going to be used to make Shenmue, and then I'm the master of this my own martial arts style that was used to make Shenmue. Essentially, I was. So I'm like the founder or co-founder for the martial arts there, and then other Dons helped create that system and made it official for Shenmue. It's called the Hazuki style, and it's not just called the Hazuki style because there's other scrolls that you find within Shenmue 1 and 2, and I did those moves too. So I'm like the master of this martial arts systems, all these systems from Shenmue 1 and 2. I'm the master of those systems. Um, yeah. Uh, mm, yes. So I'm just saying, these martial arts are really, lethal and deadly when you're good at them. If you're that good at them, they're dangerous. Um, yes. And so, like talking about Ryuzuki, what it would take to be him. I mean, I could just start training to be him if I were to diet and exercise correctly and have the right lifestyle changes. I think it's a very possible thing that I would be this Ryuzuki again. And then if somehow with hair restoration science, whatever, I mean, I grow my hair back. My hair would grow right back on my head. It would, everywhere. It's not thoroughly bald. It's just, like it's there. A lot of it's there, but it just needs to be more fuller. And some of it is balding, But I mean, I don't know. Would I get a hair transplant? I don't know. Would I just wear a wig to be in a movie? What I'm trying to say here is, I think I could make Shenmue a Shenmue movie of 1 and 2, and I think I could make them all up to five. But you know, eh, I uh, I have to have the look young enough, remove this baggy eyes, whatever. I think they could do that for me if Hollywood would decide to actually do that for me, to to make me that Ryuzuki again, because I am actually the real Ryuzuki. If they would decide to do that for me, again, I think I could do it, and maybe I could meet the challenge and just do it if I accepted it. I don't know if I would, but it's very possible I would decide that way. It is. I'm a very big fan of Shenmue. I'm a very big fan of myself because that's my fight choreography in Shenmue 1 and 2. I'm the master of the style, the Zuki style, and those scrolls in the shops, in the antique shops, and the kung fu shops of Shenmue 2. The scrolls, some of those moves are actually my own moves that I did in Shenmue 1 and 2. And make no mistake, that is really the definite truth there. Um, so I'm trying to seek that acknowledgement by Sega. I'm trying to seek that acknowledgement by Bandai Namco too, because see, some of these moves are actually my own moves I did. So I'm like some kind of a founder or master, the master or the founder of the styles that they used to make Shenmue, and they used to make Tekken's, Jin Kazama too. You could say that too, maybe in a way for Jin, but um, see, especially Shenmue. I'm a very real but I'm unofficial now. My claims stand as unofficial. They haven't made them real. Sega's not officially acknowledged me as Ryozuki. They have not officially acknowledged me as that. Like I think it would make like it could possibly make problems with some of the people in the group of Shenmue. It could make problems in Japan. I don't know if it would make problems in Japan as much as America, but it probably would make more problems in America. and in the state of Michigan where I'm living. If I'm, oh, you're Ruzuki, no, you're not. You know, I understand where people are coming from. I don't look like him. I haven't lived like him. I'm not supposed to even be here. I was supposed to be in Japan so many years ago. I had a real degree that proved it. Yes. So, and like I said before, that degree was moved around, stolen from me, gone, gone, gone. Okay. The claims on that degree, they might deny him, these teachers, because they don't want to pay me nothing. They don't want to pay me no money. You think they want to give me money? They want to laugh at me, those guys. I don't know what they want to do. They just want to make up lies and laugh and haha, like we're better than you. You're not that. You're not going to be nobody. You're nothing. Well, that's what those teachers might be like. I don't know nowadays. But they might not be that way completely. They might stand up for me somewhat. I don't know them anymore. I never got to know them because the girl I dated, this Sarah girl and Brandon, they got to know those Don teachers. I did not. They chose them over me, and maybe they had some reason they felt to do that, to choose them over me. My family was not really supportive of me doing these martial arts. They just took me there to do karate because I kept wanting to do it for so many years when I was doing baseball in my youth, and they kept wanting, they knew I wanted to do karate all my life, and they knew that, and then they knew that there were bullies bothering me, and I had problems with mental illness, so they said, "Yeah, we'll just take them there, let's leave them there, drop them off, and go help our family who's having marital problems." And I'm just bringing that up because that's what really happened in my history. So, you know. Um, because they were see my parents are supportive of my I have an older brother, but he has a degree in fine arts from college. I'm not going to say him no more, but he's got a degree in fine arts. He's an artist. um I don't want to say they love him more, but they love him a lot, and I love my brother. I love my brothers. I care about my brothers. But at the same time, I have to understand they may not show me brotherly love. Okay, they're not the same person I am. Just because I'm Mexican, well, they might think like American people and just be typical brothers that don't care. They're more Americanized and don't like me. Don't treat me with that respect of a Hispanic person. They don't. They may not. I don't know. I don't know. It's just see, Mexican people traditionally are supposed to love their brothers and love their parents, love their family, be loyal to them. Now, I may not find that trait in my own brothers. I might sometimes, but I don't think it's really there sometimes. That's why I'm saying they may not hesitate to pick a real fight with me, my own brothers, even today. And that's why I say, I don't want to be too loyal or gullible with them because I don't even know who I can trust sometimes. But I still love them, even though I don't know if I can trust them sometimes. I still love them. Uh, um, you know, it's just being aware of these things, like a sense of instinct to have to be a man. You have to have that in life. Um, Now this see so the Shenmue, I'll keep going on about it. Yeah, the hair, the jacket. I had a real jacket. I had a real bag. I had a real watch. I mean, I used to wear Hanes t-shirts like Michael Jordan would wear too, on his commercials. Uh, and then the Reebok shoes. I would also wear Nike and Reebok shoes both. I used to wear these Nike sandals. They had like a lot of dark metallic blue in them in 1995. And uh, yeah, I would wear that. I'd always wear Nike shorts. I always wear like some Powerhouse or World Gym shorts or sweaters. I would wear like Dallas Cowboys shirts. You know, all these girls used to call me Cowboy. Well, I would frequently go to Texas. Well, growing up, I would go to Texas, not frequently, but I'm saying like in 1995, I actually took a vacation to San Antonio, Texas, and to other parts of Texas. Uh, that year, I took a trip there. Um, got some relatives out west. You know, miss them sometimes. But like I just I'm online here trying to claim these things of that nature because you know royalties. What that is like you've contributed to something of some cause. Like see, my claims are also like given ideas for this to make this video game of Shenmue. I had the idea of a three-dimensional, uh, Japanese oriented, martial art oriented, uh, story life. I didn't have the idea of a story. The story is like the storyline of Shenmue. I think some of those events were inspired by some events that happened in my lifetime in 1995. They don't tell you that either. But what I'm saying is like I believe I inspired a lot of this Shenmue. The project was inspired by me and my likeness. And they're not saying that because I believe that these Don teachers, you see, they travel to other parts of the world sometimes. They do travel to South Korea at times, and they do travel to other countries, other states. They know people in the Federation, other black belts and Dons around the world. They know other karate martial artists. They exchange knowledge and train together. Uh, in our federation, it costs like $5,000 to $10,000. Sorry, it costs like $5,000 to $10,000 when you're finished paying for your Don testing and your black belt. I think you might be paying up to $10,000 for your black belt in our karate federation. It's really expensive. I don't know all the benefits of being a Don in our federation. I don't know all the what they have, the powers they have, but they have like special advantages and things to be black belt in our federation because we are not just any federation. We are a very prominent, real, uh, very reputable, old school, traditional karate federation. We're not the type to just do moves and be embarrassed when we go, yeah, yeah. We're not embarrassed to do that. We'll do it. And we do that. So it's like, you know, we're karate, Korean karate, and we do these things. But I'm just coming in training with all this talent, and this talent just comes out of me naturally training. So I can't just deny myself and deny the degree that I was given because I clearly earned it. You know, not just going to deny this. Um, so Ryuzuki, yes. I mean, I do believe I can be that again, but like, and they'd have to make me look really young and get in really good shape, be fit again. Like I have had so much definition in my forearms before. My forearms used to have, you can't see it now, is hairy arms somewhat, but they used to have a lot of definition, a lot of power. I had a lot of power in my arms. Like a whole lot of power in my arms. A lot of strength, a lot of power. I mean, I would get this strong again. The muscles would form in my body again if I had the training, but I don't have that training. I don't have the weight training. I don't have the lifestyle. I don't have money for the protein, the fruits, veggies. I don't have money for that right now. Right now, this time, I don't have that kind of money. Financially, I've got problems here, where I'm living, and just maybe even the kind of respect I would get living in Michigan. It may not be the kind of respect that I need to be like a martial arts movie actor. You see, when you go to Hollywood, you're supposed to have already had and established your reputation before you get to Los Angeles, California. You see, so this is where the karate teacher that trained me went so, you know, blind, like not blind. I don't know what is. I think he went so wrong because he just wanted to do what he wanted to do. I think, and he made the wrong choices. To You don't represent me the right way, teacher. Talking about the one from '95. If he doesn't represent me correctly, you think I'm just gonna stand for that all these years? And I tried contacting you before, and then you tell me not to claim Shenmue over the phone, and then you try to act like on the phone, what is that? Shamu, Shamu, like you don't know, like you're a dumb hick. I don't think you're a hick, but are you that way? What is your problem, man? Because like you're like, I don't know nothing about that Shamu. You're just trying to play dumb with me. I'm not an idiot. Like not the kind you think you thought I was. I'm not that stupid. No. But that's the problem with this guy. He's credited the Polish community, I think. He's paid off them. I don't know how many. See, this is what I'm thinking. That Sarah girl was part of the Polish community too. Yes, she's part of that. And I don't know if my royalties, my money went to their community. I don't know. They might have. That's a problem for me. That's a problem for me too. And it's a big problem because I still enjoy the martial arts. It enhances and enriches my lifestyle if I can get the opportunity to do martial arts. It can and it has, but uh, the biggest problem I have is that I don't have money. And the biggest problem I have is that this teacher gave away everything I earned on that significant degree. He gave it away. He gave it away. Okay. Like Santa Claus of 1995. Might as well be Santa Claus, man. I mean, he looks more like a Sherlock Holmes guy to me, this guy, but he might as well be Santa Claus too. Give it all away. No, no, you don't just do that. You gotta think. You gotta think, man. You can't do that to me because I'm a man and I trained and I earned this. So that's the problem I have. Uh, Before I had any karate tournament that I lost in, okay, let me say this: karate tournaments and training. Here's the difference here. Karate training is different than training for a tournament. Okay, everyone understand that? When you train the martial arts, karate tournaments are not full contact. They're not like all out brutal fights. They're not real fights, karate tournaments. Karate training is training for real fights. But you can't train for real fights if it's not a real fight. You see what I'm saying? See where I'm coming from? You can't train for a real fight if you're not in a real fight for tournaments. You have to train a certain way for these tournaments to know how to win at these tournaments. So I'm off guard. I don't know how to train for a tournament. I don't know how to do these tournaments. I don't have time to train with my sensei Severo, whatever. I don't have time to train with him at the time. I don't have time. I can't get to the training sites are too far for me. I can't do that. I don't have that. And I definitely don't have the talent I had for 1995 because I think nobody would have won against me then. But that's just what I'm saying here. Okay, it's just that tournament I had, this Silverado Cup, whatever, different federation. Um, those moves that opponent did against me, they were pretty impressive. But that's what I'm saying too, is that this guy has years of training for tournaments, years of knowing how to win these tournaments, experience with winning these tournaments. He's got Probably a whole empire of women fucking him all the time. I don't know if he does. Maybe he's just loyal to one. Who am I to say? I don't know, but maybe he's got them all lined up like horse. I don't know. But then you got that, and then you got all these people supporting him, probably financially. They're funding him. And I don't even know his name, but I don't even know if he's whatever nationality he is. I just know he looks like he's Asian descent, but and he looks like he's significantly taller than me too. Uh, Maybe he's not that much taller than me, but I think he's taller than me. So you got longer range of motion, you got all this support, you got all this money. Of course, he's going to have a higher advantage to win over me. I'm not even trained to be this way now. I'm just trained. I mean, I'm really what I am is like a fight choreographer. Today, I'm like a fight choreographer, and I'm a martial artist. I practice the martial arts, but I'm not like a trained fighter like that. You know, I mean, that guy. I remember he's got white and gray hairs on the side of his head. He's getting old, but he's just some guy that's trained really well in the martial arts. Of you know, I've seen my days where I was this Ryuzuki. I have, but I might see them again one day. Now, these tournaments, I want everyone to understand, they're not real fights. They're not real fights, everybody. You can train the martial arts for real fights, real situations, but you're not training for karate tournament. Karate tournaments are misinterpreted martial arts in a lot of ways because they make people think that you know martial arts more if you train for a tournament. No, you don't. It just means that they're trained to win tournaments. And maybe the guy was already trained better than me anyway, but that's because I never had my royalties. That's because I never had my sexual fulfillment from the women around here, and they don't respect me as Ryuzuki. They don't respect me as anybody because the teacher gave all this money to that law firm, 1998. I mean, I'm sure that kid next door to me that used to live there probably got a dick longer than a python or anaconda snake. I don't have those things because he gave them my money, right? Didn't you? Yeah, the floppy thing inside your pants probably is cool, but hey, I don't have that, do I? Because why? I mean, I have a pretty good sized cock. If you want to see a picture of it, I can show it to you. I don't care. But in any regard, I don't have what I earned. I don't have what I did. I don't have the respect I earned because that teacher didn't choose to respect me enough. So there's the problem. And the reason partially for that, I don't want to blame my own family, but there's another problem. It keeps going on and on and on why there's problems with this. And this is the problem I have. I have to survive. I have to eat. I have to shit. I have to go to sleep. I have to do all these things because I'm a man too. And I really earn this. I earned this very thoroughly, very clearly. I earned my degree. I earned my martial arts certificate. And you can call it a certificate if you're a lady that's 50 years old and you think he's nobody. You think he doesn't have a good penis. Well, he's a certificate. Whatever the hell. I don't care, but I earned my respect. That's what I did. Honestly. So Shenmue is that way. I explain this why I can be this guy, and I know I am this guy. But to be respected as that guy, I have to go through a lot more. And let me say this too: they could probably fix my body in a way if I like. I have this condition. Now the condition that made me this Jin Kazama, well, it didn't make me that guy, but it just proves more significance that I am him too from that shoulder condition. That started out from a car accident, not from the tournament. That started out from a car accident. I've dislocated that thing a few times already, but that's because of that's another thing to really look into. You know, I don't know how deep this Sarah and her boyfriends go in my past that I'm unaware of. You know, uh, yeah, I don't know. You can't prove it. I can't prove these things probably, but testimonial is all I can really do if it comes up in court ever. Um, yes. So, let's turn. It's fine. Like So what I'm saying here, yeah, Shenmue, the talent, you know, I mean, I don't know. I sometimes fantasize about going to the Shenmue house and doing the three kick strings in the dojo there in the house in Kanagawa Prefecture. I sometimes fantasize myself uh, in dobak form, dobak uniform, or well, I say dobak, that's Korean, but uh, in like anywhere. Anyway, I could wear a jacket in there and do the form, do the moves. Well, there's no forms in Shenmue. I don't know what I'm saying, but I think I'm too fast here. I fantasize myself sometimes doing these moves in the dojo and recording myself and being fit like Ryuzuki and actually doing these things. Maybe that's a possibility one day. I don't know. But, like if anybody's learning this Shenmue fight choreography in secret, uh, and they're trying to be this guy, well, my channel is supposed to be monetized soon, so I'm going to be monetizing it. And these claims are, you know, you can use the fight choreography, but this is going to be monetized. And I'm going to have testimonials claiming that yes, I'm the master of this Suzuki style.